Go to Infendo.com and join our Discord and ask us a question.
We put the donkey in Donkey Kong. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infendo Radio. I want to say 6:45, maybe? Could be, possibly, maybe 6:44. Either way, we're happy to be here. We're happy to have you. Welcome to the show, people. We've got a show for you tonight. There's news happening this week. There's some rumors, some speculation stuff, but we're going to push all that to the side, and we're going to talk about an up-and-coming game that you might be hearing some music from one of its predecessors in the background throughout this show. But we'll get to that in a minute. For now, I want to ask my co-hosts how they doing, and I'm going to start tonight with Justin. Justin, how you doing tonight, and where can the people find you?
I am doing okay. You can find me on Twitter at InfendoJustin, and you can check out my Disney site at thedisneyparkbench.com. That's about all I got for you.
Excellent. Well, short, sweet, and to the point. Eugene, how you doing tonight, and where can the people find you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Just go to Infendo.com if you care about anything Eugene, I guess. Go to at Infendo Eugene on Twitter because I retweet some stuff. You might not like it, but that's too bad. And yeah, that's about it for me. I'm really excited for Mario Strikers. I'm hoping it goes on sale on midnight, like on Thursday type of thing, so I can play it a little early. But that's just me. How you doing tonight, Lucas?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking, Eugene. If you want to watch some old videos that I did back when I was making videos regularly, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is Lucas Peace. Maybe I'll have something new up there soon. Who knows? Fate is strange. Times are weird. We never know what's going to come out of the cosmos. The only thing that we know for sure that's going to come out of the cosmos this week is we're going to be talking about the new Mario Strikers game. Because we have it, because at the time of recording this, the game has not yet come out, but it is coming out very soon. A few of us around here have opinions and thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams and despair and all that stuff, building up to a new game release, and one of us, at least, has actually played the global test fire demo thingamabob that came out. So we're just gonna dive in and kind of talk about this game that's coming out, and if we have any opinions, thoughts, feelings, or whatever. I'm going to let Eugene lead this conversation because Eugene is, I believe, the only one of the three of us who actually played the global test fire, which was basically, if I understand it right, much like what they've been doing with a lot of their games, right, Eugene, where you get to go online, you get to play against other people online, and just kind of get a taste for how the game feels, plays, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, with the caveat being that you have to play in Nintendo's designated time slots. So there was 10, I think, 1 hour time slots that you could choose to play over the weekend. I ended up hitting up 2 of them. And yeah, it was pretty fun. It feels like Mario Strikers. I don't really know what else to say about Mario Strikers other than it feels really good. It feels really tight. But as I'm sure we're gonna get to, it feels like there. I wish that there was just a little bit more there, character-wise. Lucas has already expressed pre-show that he's missing out on his Daisy and some of the other ones. But yeah,
I simp for Daisy. You know it.
Well, the other games were kind of notorious for that, right? I think
yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a fun game. I hope that it has all the same modes that the other games did because, Nintendo's MO lately has been kind of stripping the games a little bit based off of what we got in Mario Golf and Mario Tennis. It was almost there, but it was just missing a few things, So I hope that that's not the case for Mario Strikers, but I'm still excited about it.
So I have gameplay questions for you because there's a few things that I've been wondering about. Yeah, one of the big things for me is that there's only 10 available characters right now, which is kind of weird. From what I've seen of the gameplay trailers and stuff like that, it looks like you remember in Mario Strikers, at least on the Wii, you would have a team captain who would be your player character, and then you would have like teammates that would be like Toads and Boos and Goombas and stuff. That also seems to be absent in this one, unless I'm mistaken. And it seems like it's populated entirely by like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy. Well, not Daisy, Rosalina. You know, like that. And it's like there's like 2 teams of 4 or 5 that are made up of like the main characters. Is that how teams are structured in this game, or am I missing something?
That's the way that I'm understanding it based off of the demo. Because, yeah, you're right. There didn't seem to be, unless there's like a game mode that they haven't shown us or whatever, but there didn't seem to be like, okay, this is your captain. Because, like, didn't like whoever your captain you chose, like, get like extra abilities or something like that? I can't really remember how that worked.
Yeah, your captain was always one of the main characters, and they always had like special powers. They were stronger, they were bulkier and stuff. And then depending on who you chose for your 2 teammates, you could have like Monty Mole, who was good at defense, or you could have like Boo, who was good at offense, and like you could kind of mix and match your team to a specific, you know. So like when I would play as Peach, I would just put a bunch of Toads on my team because it was like, this just makes sense. Like this is the logical thing that would happen in this universe, you know. But it was one of those things that I remember really enjoying, and from what I've seen, it looks like in this game it's going to be much more like, you know, here's like your team of 5, and here's your team of 5, and they're all the main characters of the game. So that's interesting. Yeah, I do kind of hope that comes back as a mode at least. That would be fun. My other question for you was, in the demo that you played, was it like 1 player versus 1 player, or was it like 2 teams of 5 versus each other? Like, how did they split the players up? Was it like a 1-on-1 kind of thing? You don't know?
I never matched up with any. As far as I know, I was only matching up like 1-on-1 with other people. So like, probably.
Okay.
I'd have.
That's how I figured it would play.
I'd have to think back on the demo because I never tried that option, but there may have been an option to like play with 2 people on the console or whatever, and then maybe you would be matched up with 2 other people playing on the same console, but I was only playing solo, so I'm fairly certain I only got matched up with other people only playing solo.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious because it does kind of lend itself to the idea.
In this game too?
Yeah, and Chewie. You can actually play as all the Disney characters. No, it's just I wasn't sure how it would be because, like, again, instead of having like Goombas and Toads, you have like Mario and Luigi and stuff on your team. So I wasn't sure if that meant that it was like literally like every character is a player-controlled character, or if they're like NPCs and you can like swap between them, or you know that kind of stuff.
I thought you meant about like the other players. Yeah, so like you take control of, like, if you pass the ball to another character, you're taking control of them. Yeah, that's how that works.
But it's still like a 1-on-1 with computer controlled allies, and you swap to other play. Okay, that makes sense. So it plays like old Mario Strikers. That's cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I've seen the win animations on YouTube, by the way, and they look very fancy.
They're
and people
cool.
are going nuts over them.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
The graphics look really like it looks like really crisp. I wish I almost wish that I had an OLED switch for this one because it looks that good, type of thing. You know, but
I know someone who does.
Yeah, right. There are some differences for sure between the games. So like in this one, every character that you choose has their own. Well, I guess this was kind of true in the other one, but they each have their own stats, and the stats, at least as far as I can tell, they're always going to add up to the number 63. So like you might have like a 10 in passing, but only like a 5 in dribbling, or something like that. And then
interesting. Okay.
So that's really cool in that regard. And the like, how the special shots happen, that's a little different too, because there's like I don't even know how to describe it other than saying there's like a glowing orb that comes, and basically you get the orb, and then that'll activate your, you can use your super shot once you have it, type of thing. So
like a smash ball kind of mechanic. Yeah, if I remember right, on the Wii version, it was like based on how often you like passed to your teammates or something. Mm-hmm. You could build it up by just pass back forth kind of thing over and over again. And yeah, interesting. Well, and I know they advertised too that like a big gimmick in this game is you can have like outfits for your characters, like different helmets and stuff, and depending on what you're wearing will kind of change your character's like physique. So Donkey Kong could be more of a speed type character, or Peach could be like a power type, and
that's exactly how you do it. Yeah, it's based off of the items, which is really cool actually. So you can you can add items or remove items, and then like, so, you know, this pair of, I don't know, cleats or whatever, shoes will give you better shooting than this pair, you know, type of thing. And then you have to obviously balance that by your stat limit that you can have. It's pretty cool. I think it's an interesting mechanic.
Well, the big thing that I'm going to want to hear from you is if there's any kind of incentive to play like single player outside of just like, I just want to have fun and play a round of, you know, Mario Soccer kind of stuff. Because, like, again, we've talked about this, and I think we kind of disagree a little bit on it, but my biggest gripe with Switch Sports when it came out was that it felt very tailored for like an online game. Like, it felt like if you're playing online, you're playing right. If you're playing offline, you better just be here to have fun, because you're not going to get, like, you know, you're not going to rank up any of your sports. You're not going to unlock any new gear or any new customizations or anything. You're not going to earn medals or, you know, anything like they used to have in the old Wii Sports, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I'm just curious to see if there's any reason for, like, a solo player to get this game who doesn't plan on playing with people online. Because I knew that, like, I think even with, like, the old Mario Strikers, that wasn't really a thing. Like, the only thing I remember doing on Mario Strikers on Wii was playing multiplayer with friends. So I'll be curious when you pick this up to hear if there's, like, you know, is there, like, a tournament mode I could do against computers? Or, like, what's the deal?
Yeah, because there wasn't any of that apparent in the, you know, the demo or whatever, because that was just all, like, online stuff. So... yeah, I'll be interested in that too. I want to say that that's going to be the items, though. Like, I think that I could be wrong, but I think that's going to be where the, you know, where it's going to keep you coming back type of thing. At least that would be what would keep a player like Steve, where he has to like collect everything.
Like the unlockable helmet. Yeah. See, my fear is though they're going to tie that into like online play. You know, it's like, oh, play in 5 tournaments and unlock a helmet, like that kind of. And I'm hoping that it's just like, hey, just play against some computers, and you know. So again, fill me in next week once you've had a chance to dabble. Yeah. Take a break from Elden Ring. Play a little bit of Mario Strikers for me and let me know how it is. Because I want to get this game, but I just don't want to get another game that I'm going to put 2 hours into and then never pick up again, you know?
Yeah. I know that there is I know there is a tournament mode because it was you know, you couldn't select it type of thing or whatever. But I don't know what it's going to be, you know? Like,
is it online or offline?
No, it's solo. It's definitely solo because they like segmented like the, you know, the online stuff. Cool. Yeah, so that seems like where the solo stuff will happen. But like, is it any good? Like, what is it? What is it? Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah. Oh man, nothing will ever live up to like Mario Tennis on the N64 and the GameCube, like tournament mode.
Yes.
That to me was like the crux of like single player sports tournament games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love.
Yeah,
that
you can.
stuff.
Those were games that legit you can play solo and like still have a good time. Because I remember, you know, getting my butt beat at my friend's house and then going home and like practicing for like 10 hours straight, so then I can beat him the next time.
Well, especially if you had the Game Boy versions, because then you would, you know, like train your player on the Game Boy and then go throw it into the N64 version.
You know, I never got
pretty powerful Kid back on Mario Golf. Pretty powerful version of Kid from that game.
Could you do that with tennis too, or was it only golf?
Yeah, you could do it with tennis and golf.
I never did it with tennis, actually. You know what? I need to go buy a copy of Mario Golf or Tennis on the Game Boy so I could do that.
I never had Mario Tennis on the Game Boy. I had Mario Tennis Advance, but I never had the first one. So I missed out on that. But I got to do it at Mario Golf, and I loved it.
I had them all. And a transfer pack and everything. So I would be sitting on the bus playing, you know, Mario Tennis or Mario Golf, you know, on my way to and from class, and then I'd go home and transfer it into the N64 game and play it with my friends.
Yeah, good times. I mean, what do you think, Justin? We kind of monopolized the conversation. Are you at all interested in picking up Mario Strikers? Are you going to wait until you hear good things, or you're not getting it at all? Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've just been kind of sitting here listening because, like, just like, you know, Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, both of which I have, like, I really want this game and I really want to, play it and have it and
Yeah.
everything, but I feel like this game more than those others is more of a multiplayer experience, and that's not something that I get to partake in very
Yeah.
often. Like, I don't care about playing online with randos, and
Hmm.
I almost never have friends online playing when I'm playing, least of all the same games. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a wait and see for me right now. But I mean, I never played Strikers on the GameCube or Wii, so this would be my first.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, I love the Mario sports games, and this has been on my radar. This sub series has been on my radar for years. So I don't know. It's a wait and see. We'll see. We'll see if it fits in both my monetary and temporal budget.
Well, like if you're the kind of person who plays like Colt circa like 2017 or whenever we were doing the baseball tournament, he would love this game, I feel like, because like you can set up an online club, you can name it, you can host like tournaments and brackets and like opens and all kinds of things with it, and like have like a team jersey, a team field, play against other teams. Like this is the kind of thing that having a close-knit group of friends who love this game is made for. But if you don't have that like coming out of the gate, then it's probably going to feel very like isolated and very single player. So that's kind of where I am too. I'm just hoping that the single player will live up to it. I'm a little worried that there's only 10 playable characters. I'm a little worried that that indicates that they're expecting you're going to get a lot of your fun out of playing with other people as opposed to like experiencing all the characters and mixing and matching different teams. And it's like when the entire roster fits in like one match, that freaks me out a little bit, in terms of like single player replayability. So that's kind of where I'm coming from and where I'm hoping that this game delivers. But yeah, like I said, after Switch Sports, I just want to play it a little bit more cautious because I dove into that game and I did not get my money's worth. Like
Yeah.
it was fun for a couple of days, but the allure wore off very quickly. And coincidentally, pretty much as soon as Steve and I stopped playing together. And the incentive to play together wasn't there because in order to unlock the unlockables in the game, we had to play with randoms. So, like, there was no incentive for the two of us to hop on together other than just fun. And we both know that Steve and I don't play games for fun. We play them because they're serious jobs and we have to unlock everything there is to unlock in a game. So, like, yeah. And Steve was the only person I played that game with. So, like, no connection to that game anymore, which is where I'm freaking out about Mario Strikers. Like, honestly, I would love to get in a match with all of you guys. The odds that the four of us are ever going to all sit down and play Mario Strikers is astronomically high. So, like, I don't know. I just want this game to be good for solo Lucas, but we'll see if that comes true.
Yeah, I feel that if you're in it for multiplayer and online, then I think that you're all set,
Oh, yeah.
obviously. And
Oh, yeah.
the only last thing that I want to touch on is that the online experience, at least for me, it was like buttery smooth. It was like so good. I didn't have like any hiccups at all. Like, it was just like just really nice. So that
None
was
of the Wii or the Switch Sports hiccups or anything like that from that demo.
I didn't have any of those actually in Switch Sports. The one thing that I had in Switch Sports was in the what was it, the sword fighting thing, where it, and I think it was just people disconnecting because like when you get like you beat them and you're about to do the second ring out to win, I would always get disconnected in that global test fire because I think people were
Interesting.
just like disconnecting or whatever, so.
That sucks.
But anyways, yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to get it regardless, obviously. I think you guys know that.
Yeah.
So, expect to hear me talking about it next week.
Well, and I'm, and I would probably be, if they did release a Mario baseball or a Mario hockey game, I'd be the same way. I'd get it just because I like the sport, not necessarily for the thing, for what the game itself is. But, yeah, just seems like a game that if I don't have somebody else to play it with, I might not get as much out of it as I have been getting with golf and to a lesser extent tennis.
Sure. Actually, one last thing I want to
golf-
say. I'm pissed that we don't get the scarf that Europe got, because there was a pre-order bonus and it was cool as F, and we didn't get that here. So
Really? That is cool.
yeah, Mario, like a
well,
scarf.
I will say,
I don't know if you guys know that scarves are a soccer thing, but that's I would totally wear that to a soccer match, man. God, give me that Mario scarf.
I was unaware. You could probably get it on eBay for like $800.
Literally,
if you're really,
yeah.
I was gonna say you can get a Hyrule Warriors scarf on eBay for about
that one. That one I liked. That one was really cool. Now, all I will say is, Nintendo, I know you listen to our show because you always make decisions based on what we say and do. I don't care what adult gamers say. More characters in a game is more fun. Start putting more characters in your game again. I want to be able to play as every conceivable Mario character.
Over the next several months.
I want to play as every conceivable Mario character in every conceivable Mario game. More Mario Kart 8, less of this. Please, give us more characters. It's all I want, man. They don't have to be balanced. They don't have to be unique. I will take 8 Koopalings and 15 Kongs. Just put them all in the game for me. It's all I want. Okay. Let's change it up and change the system here. Who wants to talk about the games they've been playing this week?
Let me go first because mine's going to be short.
Okay.
I have obviously been playing Elden Ring. Actually, if you believe it or not, I'm on the end boss. But it's hard. I don't want to say...
I figured you would do the helpy cheaty thing by now.
I've been trying to do it. I want to beat it by myself at least once. And then I'm going to New Game Plus the hell out of this game. The hell out of it, because I just don't want to stop playing it. I think I told you, Lucas, that pre-show that I actually bought a new Xbox. It should be here tomorrow. I got an Xbox Series X for this stupid game because it takes too long when you die to reload, and I just want to just keep playing the game, that type of thing. So, yeah.
So you bought a new system.
Yes, I did.
So you could lower your reload time.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Can't tell you're addicted to a game.
Yeah, and Game Pass, of course. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. I'm actually probably gonna download the new Halo game because, why not? So yeah, I'm excited for my new Xbox for sure. I found that I've been playing Xbox a lot more than my Switch lately for whatever reason. So I don't know. The Switch has ever since Arceus, I feel. I've been kind of on a Switch hiatus, So I need the right game to get me back in, and I think Strikers is going to be the one. But yeah, just Elden Ring really for me. There was go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've kind of been right there with you. I've been on a PC gaming kick for the last couple of weeks, so
yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
And then you just got to put the Switch down, let it get dust.
Yeah, sure, exactly. The only other game that I really want to talk about of note is Pokemon Go, because there was an event this weekend, and I'm pretty salty about it, honestly, because I didn't get... Isn't it sad that you feel like if you pay...
What was the event?
It was just like a... I don't remember what it was called. It was called like a... I don't know. I paid $15 for it. Basically, it had just a bunch of different Pokemon.
Well, no. If you pay for one of those passes, you should feel like you're getting something out of it. Which is the problem with paying for events. They should just be free events.
Totally. And thank you, Steve. It was GoFest, and there was a free version of GoFest, but if you paid, you got the tasks and all that stuff. It was really cool because every hour there was a different theme. So there was different Pokemon to catch every hour. So that made it a little bit fun. Yeah. But I'm salty because I didn't get as many shinies as I wanted to. I only got 6 shinies over the course of the 2 days, which seems like a lot. But considering that in some events I've gotten 26 shinies, I was a little bit disappointed in my output there, especially since it was so expensive. I feel like if I'm putting money into an event, I expect shinies out of it. Is that bad? I don't know, but that's kind of how I feel.
Well, and there weren't that many new shinies that made the cut. I'm looking at the list right now. Axew, which would have been cool. Shroomish, Numel, Carablast, and Shelmet. So out of all of those, the only one I would have really wanted is an Axew. But
I did get a
yeah,
Shelmet,
it's
and that was cool.
yeah. Yeah, it's just you kind of get the feeling that maybe it's time to throw the next generation of Pokemon games into Pokemon Go, that kind of thing.
They just did that recently, actually, but they've been so slow doling
Oh,
out
did
the
they just
shinies.
do like the Alola? Yeah, yeah. Well, they are reaching they're reaching. They've got this, and then they've got Sword and Shield, and then they've got to wait on Gen 9. So you can tell that they're constantly like, okay, if we wait another year, then the new game will be out, and then we can release the last game. That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
then they do another round of gatekeeping. Not only do they gatekeep like the generations like that, but then they'll gatekeep the shinies. So like not every
uh-huh.
Pokemon can be shiny right away, which is I feel kind of I don't know.
Yep.
I don't like it. But what are you going to do? I keep giving them
Yeah.
freaking money, so they're doing something right, I guess.
hmm
But yeah, that's it for
Yeah.
me. So I'll pass
Yeah.
the baton.
All right, well, I'll take that baton. I have not been playing much either. I've become kind of a Eugene in my gaming habits. But my Elden Ring is Final Fantasy XIV, so that's what I've been playing. It's a pretty awesome game. I really like it a lot, actually. I it's an online game, right? So you got the social element of like watching a bunch of people run around and shout at each other and stuff, and then you've got the whole like grindy RPG element, which is what I'm really getting into. I just hit level 40 as a gladiator, which is like the base class for like the sword and shield user. So now I have the ability to start an advanced class for the first time, which is paladin. Now I'm not super hyped on paladin, but I think in 10 more levels of gladiator I get to start dark knight, which is the one that I think I really want to do as my like that's like two-handed swords, big
Sure.
bulky tank running around, like cloud strifing everything. So yeah, that's my goal in life, is to become a dark knight and become the best dark knight that I can be. And then eventually, max out every possible class and just eat my entire soul into this game. But for now, just getting my feet wet with this. But I'm really enjoying it. The story is actually really good. I've been pushing my way through that because really that is the only way to level up in the beginning, is to play through the story. I've been doing all like there's a new thing that I found this time. They're kind of like group dungeons that you can do that kind of remind me of Crystal Chronicles a little bit. You know how you would like go into an area in Crystal Chronicles, it's like a team of 4 and kind of wander the area and kill monsters and open gates and get to a final boss and stuff.
Right.
They play a lot like that, and it really gives me like a Crystal Chronicles vibe that I'm really enjoying. I've only had one really bad group where the group wanted to like rush through the dungeon. It was like my first time there. So like one guy got killed. Like we went through like a portal and the guy was on the other side and he got murdered because he's like a DPS ranger and he's not meant to take any damage. And he was like all alone with a horde of monsters we'd left behind. So I got pissed at them, but overall it's really fun. There's also like player commendations that you get at the end of the dungeon. You can optionally give a player a commendation for doing a good job. And if you get like 15,000 of them or something, you can become like a mentor for new players and like help them out in the game and stuff. And being the tank in like the only tank in the group, I get a lot of player commendations, which always feels really good. Like all I do is run around and spin around in circles with my sword, so everybody fights me, and people like that, because then they're not getting hurt and taking damage and stuff. So as long as the healer on my team doesn't suck, everything goes great, and it's it's a fantastic experience. So yeah, I've been really, really liking this game. It's been a lot of fun. Every now and then I get into like these things when I play it where it's like, oh man, I wish I had a guild and friends and could go on quests with other people that I liked and stuff. And then I get kind of bummed out and I have to go off on like solo adventure for a while to feel better about myself. But all in all, it's been a good game. I've been really enjoying it. So yeah, it's kind of the big one. There was another game that I played, and man, I had it right here in the noggin, fired up and ready to go. And now it's killing me because I don't remember what it was, and it hurts so bad. Give me. Oh, right. I remember. I only played it for like an hour. That's why. But it came out a couple of days ago. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. You guys remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
The Smash-ish game with Nickelodeon characters. It got voice acting and items this week,
Oh, they're talking.
weirdly enough. Yeah, so now the game has voice acting, and I gotta say, it's nice. It's a nice little touch. It kind of takes it from feeling like a weird, awkward fan game to like a legitimate experience, which is nice. Unfortunately, I think it's kind of too little too late for this game. Like, most of the community is left. Everybody is fawning over Multiverses right now, which is the Warner Bros. One that I don't think is out yet.
There was
I
like
think
a
it's
closed
just that there was like an
beta.
open beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, closed beta. But the community is going nuts for that game right now. I stand by my reservations that I had for that game. Like, I did a whole video on it and everything. Half the internet liked it, half the internet hated it. It is my most watched and my most reacted to video I've ever done. And it's really weird because the like to dislike ratio is like 50% on it. So, like, half the people apparently think I had some ideas. The other half of the group thinks I'm a raging idiot. But I freak out a little bit that it's a free-to-play game because that brings with it so many caveats for, like, abuse and just corruption down the road.
Especially
like,
it being Warner Interactive, because we saw what happened with Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah, I highlighted that they freaking, they're cash grubbing the same group that Warner Bros. Is the same group that made like the new basketball Bugs Bunny Garbo movie with like 800,000 cameos, and it's just I don't know, I worry that it's going to be a money grab, and I hope I'm wrong because Smash Bros. With Scooby-Doo and Steven Universe and Finn from Adventure Time and Game of Thrones, like, that sounds really cool. That sounds really fun. I want to be excited for this game, but I'm nervous. But in the meantime, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl exists as kind of an example of how not to roll out a game. It's a solid platformer fighter. If you were looking for a Smash Bros. Alternative, I would recommend it as a game, but you have to be the kind of person who likes playing online. Like, you have to be, because there's just not that much content there otherwise. There's an arcade mode that you can play with every character. You can challenge yourself with, like, the hardest settings, and you can play, computer, local, whatever matches. But if you're not playing it to play, like, competitively with people online, it's going to play about as well as Smash 64, It's got about that many features, that many bells and whistles. So, like, I don't know, if you like Smash 64 and you really like playing that game by yourself against computers all day, then you'll probably really like this game. But if not, then find some friends, play online, that kind of thing. Really, that's kind of it, though. It's been those two games. I will say the game has really significantly improved since I first played it. It's just, again, I think it's just too little too late, right? Like, a game, it's kind of that Miyamoto quote. Like, back when he said that, I don't think there were really a lot of games, at least on Nintendo, that were coming out that could be updated after the fact, but that a bad game is bad forever, a good game, a delayed game is eventually good, that quote. This is kind of an example of, like, releasing a game bad and then fixing it after the fact because, like, your budget was small or you were rushed or whatever. Like, yeah, it's a better game now than it was back then, but it was a bad game when it came out, and now it's kind of a dead game, that whole kind of vibe.
It's so funny that you say that, because the same is actually true, but the opposite for Final Fantasy, because they turned that game around. Like, it was a crap game at first, for all intents and purposes, and now it's like, it is what it is now.
Yeah, but see, I guess the difference there is I'm coming into this game like 12 years after it was released,
Sure.
It's got like 3 million people or whatever that are playing it today, and like half the people are noobs. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess in the right circumstance, then you can turn a game around, but Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, I don't think it's I think there's too much competition, I think these games come out like that. And now, again, we've got Multiverses on the horizon. Smash Bros. Still exists, and it's still the king of this kind of game. And Multiverses may be able to topple it, but Nickelodeon isn't going to. Like, there's no way they can make this game that good. And they've already got, like, the 3 DLC characters they're rolling out for, like, $15 total. And it's just like, who is going to buy these? Like what audience do you think you're selling for? Because no one is playing this game. Nobody is playing this game in like competitions. Nobody is playing this game online. It's a dead game, and I hate that term because people use it all the time for games like oh, I hate Among Us. It's such a dead game, but this game is a dead game at this point, and it's a shame because there really is something there, and it was obviously made with a lot of love, but again, just too little too late, I think. Maybe there's a saving period and like a resuscitation period. Maybe if you're a company as big as Square Enix, you have the funds and the time and the resources to resurrect a dead game and make it a really good game. But when you're like a third-party company working for Nickelodeon, like, I just don't see it. So, you know. But I got a few good hours out of it, so it was fun for what it was. Anyway, Justin, what have you been playing lately?
I've more of the same, honestly. Grand Theft Auto 5 mostly. What did I play? Oh, Spider-Man. Since I watched, finally got around to watching Spider-Man No Way Home, it got me in the mood to play the PS4 game, so played a little bit of that. I've barely played my Switch in the past week. Oddly enough, Eugene, it's funny to hear you talk about getting a Series X. Because I had said a couple weeks ago I had gotten an Xbox One X so that I could have an Xbox One downstairs and then one upstairs in my computer / game room. And now I'm regretting doing that because for the same price I paid for the Xbox One X, I could have gotten an Xbox Series S, which is everything the One X is and more. So I'm
there was a One X. Xbox has the worst naming conventions.
Totally.
Seriously.
So the One X was the basically like the Pro. So yeah. So it was the one that's capable of 4K and stuff like that. And I mainly got it because I figured if I'm going to have a second system, it may as well be an upgrade, especially since this is the big TV. This is the TV that if I'm going to upgrade, it's going to be this one, and this will be the 4K one. But yeah, it's for the One X was $200 refurbished on eBay, and I can get a Series S used or refurbished for $200, and I kind of regret making that decision. But oh well, it is what it is. I don't foresee myself needing a Series S/X until whatever the next Rockstar game is that comes out, whether it's Grand Theft Auto 6 or something, because those are usually the games that get me to upgrade systems. Is whatever I got my Xbox One because I wanted to play Red Dead Redemption, or Red Dead Redemption 2. I got the Xbox 360 because I wanted Grand Theft Auto 4. So when Grand Theft Auto 6 is announced for the next generation, then I'll be on it. But I did want to do a brief review of a controller that I got this week. Let me pull up my Amazon because I don't have the controller anymore, if that gives you any indication about how I felt about it. So I've mentioned before that I'm not and have never been a fan of the PlayStation controllers. I do not like the symmetrical joysticks on the bottom. Worst. I think it's just it's 2022. There's no reason you can't have offset joysticks now. Like, it's the only reason it isn't is because it's tradition, So I went online looking for a PlayStation controller that has offset joysticks, and for the PS3, like PowerA and a few of the other big names had come out with some, and I found one on Amazon. It's the Nacon Revolution Unlimited, and it came in both a wired and wireless version, and I got the wireless version. Again, it has the offset joysticks. It is officially licensed by Sony for use on the PlayStation. and it's one of those like extra special ultra, like pro controllers. I've never had one of those before, so I'm like, well, if I'm gonna try it, I may as well go all out. So I got it and I unboxed it, and first thing was like the instructions that it came with were non-existent. Like I had to fiddle with the thing to figure out how to get it to work with the PS4. And once I did, I found out that you need a USB dongle to get it to work with the PS4, because as usual, they lock down their Bluetooth whatever, so that you either have to have a wired controller or you have to have a dongle. Yeah, and if you have, like, Hori makes a PS4 controller with offset joysticks, but it doesn't have rumble and it doesn't have gyro. So like I don't understand why. Like, I understand they want to sell you their brand name controllers, but like why do you hamper the third party ones so badly? Because then the cheap Chinese ones come out that do everything, and you end up getting those anyway. So I took this thing out and I played with it for about a half an hour. And I tried it with SpiderMan, and this thing was so bulky and uncomfortable. Like, my hands were cramping worse than they do on the standard controller, and I ended up boxing it right back up and shipping it back to Amazon. And I mean, this was not a cheap controller. This was like it's currently priced at $130.
Lord.
Which is the most I have ever spent on any controller ever. And I was just not happy with it. So, if you care about that sort of thing, if you're looking for a controller for your PS4 with offset joysticks, do not get the Nacon. It's a lot of money for not a whole lot of extra convenience, and I found it less comfortable than the official Sony one. So, for once, I actually have a review of something that wasn't that good.
I'm pretty sure you can buy dongles, and dongle this, dongle that you can connect a Xbox controller to your PlayStation. So you might look into that.
I think 8BitDo makes something like I have an 8BitDo USB adapter that lets me use those controllers on the Switch. I imagine there's got to be one for the PlayStation, because if I could use an Xbox One controller on the PlayStation 4, then that would just be ideal, because I got plenty of those controllers, and it's like, it is the Xbox One and the Switch controllers are probably the two most comfortable controllers ever.
Yeah, they're good.
And they're practically like the same thing. Like, one is more angular than the other, but besides that, they're practically the same thing. But honestly, like, it's funny because, like I said, this is the most expensive controller I've ever bought, and I hated it. Meanwhile, I have like 3 of the cheap Chinese knockoff Switch controllers, where they basically just take the mold of an Xbox One controller and program it to do the Switch stuff, and it has rumble, and it has NFC, and it has gyro. It cost me like $20, and it's still one of the best controllers I have for the Switch besides the official one. But so I guess, when they say you get what you pay for, it's not always the truth. Sometimes a cheap controller is a good controller, and the expensive ones are just expensive because they can say professional. But I figured I'd throw that in there since I don't really have anything exciting to talk about gameplay-wise. Just playing the same old stuff that I've been playing. So yeah, there's my product review of the Nacon Unlimited Revolution. Oh, sorry. The Nacon Revolution Ultimate Unlimited Pro.
You reminded me of one thing, too, on my end. So sorry, Lucas. I'm going to steal about 5 minutes here. I also bought a product, but it was for my NES. Because I've always wanted... It's called an NES Satellite. Justin, do you know what that is?
Is it anything like the Satellaview? Or...
No, unfortunately.
Or the X game or whatever they called it, that you could play games through the modem?
Not anything that exciting, but it does let me play my NES wirelessly, kind of, because it's this thing. You attach this dongle. It's the word of the night. You attach it to the NES, and it has an IR sensor on it. And then you take this like giant plastic thing and you put it somewhere, and then you have to make sure that it's lined up just right with the IR sensor, and you plug your controllers into that. It was officially licensed by Nintendo, I'm like fairly certain, and it also basically was a multi-tap. Yeah.
I think I do vaguely remember those, and and I believe they worked like crap because it was all IR and line of sight. Yeah,
it absolutely
terrible
sucks.
lag.
But I love it because I've always wanted one, and I never had one as a child, So I was like, well, I mean, why not? It's $20 on eBay. I got $20, and it's absolutely terrible. But again, I love it. It's just history. So I'll probably put it in a box somewhere.
I can't judge. My love of weird ass controllers. So I'm on Amazon right now and I'm looking, and I can find adapters that let me use a PS4 controller on the Xbox One, but not the other way around. Which, what the hell is wrong with you people?
So I'm noticing one of the. I looked up the Wikipedia here. One of the things it says is it allowed 4 players to play simultaneously. What NES games were
soccer? The volleyball game. Bomberman. There was a few. Hockey, I'm pretty sure. I think Blades of Steel was one of the ones where you can do that. There was a bunch. Well, maybe not a bunch. There was a handful.
But I can't. Yeah, there were definitely a few 4-player games for the NES. Not a whole hell of a lot, but
interesting. Yeah, I've never really even thought of it being a 4-player. Did the Famicom have 4 ports, or am I misremembering that?
Yeah, you had to have the multi-tap thing if you wanted to do that.
Huh.
And the multi-tap, well, oh god, it was. I have to look it up. It was called something funny. The NES 4-score. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Interesting. Huh. Well, all right then.
But again, that's why I just bought it, because it's history, Oh, sorry, Lucas. Didn't mean to cut you off. I'm getting excited.
No, it's all good. My dream
that's why I have
is
a power glove.
My dream is to someday own a Rob, and that dream has yet to come to fruition.
Ooh, those
I have one of those too.
Those are expensive. Hold on to that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how much I paid for mine, but I intentionally bought one that didn't work because I knew I was never going to be able to use it for, as a gaming accessory anyway. I just wanted it on my shelf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, well, what I was going to say is that normally brings us to the point where we would end the show. However, we have a question in the question block. The question block, for those of you that don't know, is the spot on our Discord channel. Yes, we have a Discord channel. Eugene is basically the only moderator anymore. But every now and then somebody posts a question in the question block, and we got one this week from Blue Kyle. So thank you, Blue Kyle. Your question was, do you think Nintendo will show the sequel to the Switch anytime soon? And I like this question because I've been thinking about this too. For the last 4 years, we've been having debates on this show about it's almost time for a new Switch. I bet we're going to see the Switch Pro, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, nope, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I finally switched camps to where I'm at the point where I'm like, it's just about time. In my opinion, it's just about time. Here's how I think this is going to go down, Blue Kyle.
It's about damn time.
I think that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to herald in a new Nintendo system the same way Breath of the Wild heralded in a new Nintendo system. And I think maybe part of the reason why the game is delayed is because they're syncing up all of these release windows and whatnot. They don't want to announce the new Switch too early. They want to give people time to kind of get tickled over it and excited for it and whatnot. So I'm fully expecting that within a year of Breath of the Wild 2, we will have a new Switch, or a new whatever you want to call it, to go with that game. And this game will be on both the Switch and the Switch 2 in the same way that Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U and the Switch. That's my personal prediction. What do you guys think?
I'm with you on that. Like, either it's going to happen with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, or it's not going to happen at all until we get like a complete and utter replacement. I think Nintendo might be gearing towards the iterative upgrade, like an iPhone or well, hell, like the Xbox and PlayStations have been doing. Because let's face it, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series are basically just upgrades to the PS4 and the Xbox One. Like they're not so like they use the exact same architecture basically. So I think it was Digital Foundry that kind of analyzed the Zelda trailer and said that it's doing things that the Switch in its kind of base hardware shouldn't be able to do. So they kind of speculated that because Nintendo's not really known for showing off trailers that aren't accurate to the experience, like Sony is known for doing. So and I know I'm going to say this and it's going to bite me on the ass when it doesn't happen, but I think that Zelda's going to be their Trojan horse to say, hey, you could play the new Zelda game on your regular Switch, but we got this shiny new Nintendo Switch that'll play it even better, plus these exclusives coming out next year.
Worked for the Switch and Breath of the Wild, So yeah, that's kind of where my head is, I don't know. What do you think, Eugene? Are you with us or are you against us?
I don't know, because I still think about you talked about it already, the rumors from last year about Switch Pro and everything, and I still feel like those held a little bit of weight there. I kind of feel like maybe Nintendo pulled the plug on that project because of, maybe COVID, supply chain issues, that type of thing. So I don't know that we're going to get like a Switch Pro more than we get like the Switch 2 type of thing. Like Justin said, like, okay, here's like something entirely new, like whether it be another handheld that has like a projector built in or something, I don't freaking know, so that we can do like holographic stuff, like, or whatever, I don't know. But like, yeah, I think that Nintendo's pretty much going to be done with iterating on this current Switch architecture. So like, we're probably not going to see another like Switch OLED type of thing. I think the next thing that we see is going to be brand new. When is that going to happen?
Yeah.
I think that like even a year from now is maybe a little bit too early, judging on just the sales of the Switch. Like Switch sales are still, it's still selling as much or better than the Xbox and the PlayStation.
That's a big factor there too, because why release a new system right now and cannibalize their sales when they can just keep working on the system and make it even better for next year when sales decline, or the year after that when they decline.
I guess the biggest counterpoint to that would be, even if sales are good, Nintendo does always kind of have to play catch up in terms of staying relevant in a market for third-party games.
That's very true.
Even if Nintendo continues, to pump out good first-party games. I mean, like Fall Guys took like 3 years to come out, and that's a basic game. Like these games are taking a long time to port to the Switch. It might be nice to have a system that's got a little more junk in the trunk and can push like, on and compete with like last-gen consoles.
It's like, for me, I feel like the pandemic and COVID kind of gave Nintendo a boost in that regard, because really the only stuff that was coming out for any of the consoles was the indie stuff, and that could pretty much run on anything for a lot of those ones, So like Switch had it. But now that third parties are starting to catch up, like, Justin was going to be pining over the next Grand Theft Auto. That's never going to come out on the Switch proper, Like, so like if Nintendo ever wants to have a chance at that, then you're right. But like, do they have that in them? I don't know. Does that interest them?
That's the question. Well, management has shifted a lot too, so we have no idea what they're thinking.
It's still funny to me that we don't have any of that, of like the 360 PS3 generation, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption games, because we have LA Noire, so we know it can run it. It's running all sorts of other Xbox 360 games. Like, why are these games not on the Switch already?
I think part of it is like an interest thing. Like the amount of effort it takes to port the game. Is it worth it for how people are gonna, everybody who's wanted to play that game has played it, so is putting it on Switch really worth it? That kind of mentality.
But again, LA Noire,
yeah, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it was
like,
easy.
Who cared about that game? It's a cool game, but it's not.
Yeah, maybe it's just like, hey, 5 game developers, spend a year porting this to Switch. We don't care. Here's $30,000. Good luck, as opposed to like a game like GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's like, man, this is gonna take some effort, like that. I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows? Yeah.
I don't know.
I know that's been the case for people not bringing their games to the Switch a lot of the times. It's exactly that, right? It's like, it's not free. Somebody's got to do it, and things like that take time, so.
Okay, so I do have one other thing I want to bring up real quick, actually, because I just thought of this, and it'd be more fitting in the news section, but I'm going to make it a question block thing. Have you guys seen the report that Nintendo was working on a sequel to 1-2 Switch? Because I just read about this last night.
I saw that.
And it did so
and that they've been sitting on
poorly.
it because they don't know what to do with it.
It did so poorly with the playtesters that they don't know how to... Playtesters would rather walk out of the study than continue playing the game. Like, that was where they were at with this. Supposedly, it's like a Jackbox party-style game that you can play with up to 100 people using a smartphone app online. So that was like the rumored, speculation of it. But yeah, they have boxes with art sitting there that will now maybe never be filled. A lot of the people that say that they have some connection to Nintendo are saying the game will come out in some form, but whether it will be some free game or some add-on to the original, or whether they will continue to work on it and release it. Like, very interesting.
I always thought that should have been a pack-in.
Well,
yeah,
exactly.
Honestly.
Like, there's... just like, what was it, Pilot Wings Resort. Like, it baffled me that was a standalone, like, retail game instead of being a pack-in.
I forgot that
1-2
was
Switch
game.
should have been a pack-in.
Pilot Wings Resort.
So,
who's thought about
the
that
difference,
one in the
though,
last
is
year?
I really enjoyed Pilot Wings Resort, and I didn't even buy
so did I.
1-2 Switch because I thought that game was hot garbage. And there was an audience for 1-2 Switch, but it was not me. That was the first launch title tie-in game that I didn't get. Like I've bought every version of Wii Sports. I loved Nintendo Land. Pilot Wings Resort was a blast. I didn't want 1-2 Switch. I played one round of that at a friend's house when the Switch first came out, and I was like, this just isn't fun. It's like, okay, we each have a Joy-Con and we draw on each other like cowboys, and that's the game. Milking a cow. It didn't do it for me at all. So
Sure.
the fact that they thought that this game needed a sequel and that it's doing so
It
badly
was good for
is
a
just
party
ridiculous.
game, because I played it with my friends literally one time, and we had fun. But then they come back around, and it's like, okay, what do you guys want to play? Not that, let's play something else.
Yeah. So that's your little extra news segment. And that is it for us, guys. We're going to get out of here. But thank you so much for listening, for watching if you're watching us on YouTube. We appreciate that. We just started posting these episodes online. So if you really want to see our beautiful faces talking about this stuff, you can go to our YouTube channel and go watch those videos. But either way, however you ingest us into your ear holes, we appreciate it.
Gross.
We'll be back again next week to talk about Mario Soccer and how much Eugene loves it and how much I'm playing Final Fantasy and all that other good stuff. So until then, bye.
Cover your ear holes.
See you real soon.